All right, so this video is going to be a little bit longer. This one's going to kind of hit home, be a little bit of emotional, but just try to keep all emotions out of this and stick to facts. But let me just go ahead and already start to tell you this is an elderly guy who literally just lost his house due to the fraud related to Will and Will Platt and others. Unfortunately, like literally Tuesday, just a few days ago. Today's Saturday, so 4 days ago, whatever, how many days ago that was. It was a house that his aunt had deeded over to him that he had that would have been free and clear. And I'll go over all those details here. So let me first start with, I don't even really know where to go. I'm just going to kind of bounce around, so I apologize. Again, this is going to be a little bit longer. I'm going to have to go around from this GSCCCA website to police reports to audio, but I will try to keep it as short as I possibly can. But this is a very unfortunate situation here. This is just one of God knows how many victims. So let's start with this police report. So this report was taken July 23rd, 2024. The address that we're referring to is 7847 Sugarland Drive. I'm going to read out some of this because some of it's going to be kind of hard for some of us to read his handwriting. And I'm also going to have some of this transcribed after I make this audio. So right now, the victim is Julian Lett, and he's allegedly claiming identity fraud and forgery in the first degree with the officer that he had been working with at the time. Suspect is William Platt, and also other names involved that he wanted to take out warrants on was a Jana Scarlett and Burrell Ridgway. I'm aware that Burrell Ridgway is, from what I've been told, the quote-unquote accountant for Will Platt over at 3120 The Bank. But from what I understand is that he is not a legit CPA, not licensed or anything, but they use his info a lot of times. So you'll see Burrell Ridgway as a witness. I don't think he has a notary, but you'll see him as a witness to some notaries, and there's a lot of paperwork with his name on it as well. And then this Jana Scarlett was a supposed witness to the notary in this forged quitclaim deed taking over the property. So Julian Lett here is stating that the property that he owned, which was 7847 Sugarland Drive, which was deeded to him by his aunt, was worth, give or take, around $250,000. So the narrative from the police officer stated on July 23rd, 2024, around 10 hours, Julian walked into the Central Watch office to file a police report. Julian advised last year in March that he went to his friend, William, and asked to borrow $65,000 from him. Julian said that William agreed to give him the money. As part of the agreement, he gave William a copy of the deed to his home as reassurance of payment. Julian advised that he kept the original and only provided a copy to William. And again, they're referring to William Platt. Julian advised he received a phone call from a relative telling him that William had some recent financial trouble and told him to check on his property. Julian stated that on July 18th, 2024, he went to the courthouse to check on his deed for the residence and found that the deed was transferred to a now owned Platt Family Real Estate and Holding LLC since July 25th, 2023. He advised the document he received from the courthouse showed a signature of his name on the paperwork. Julian advised that he has never seen this document. Julian stated he never signed this document in front of any notary, which was the Jana Scarlett that he referenced, nor has he ever had any intention of selling or giving away his property. Julian advised the residence was worth around $250,000. He stated he never had a specific date to pay the money back to William. Julian advised that he was selling some land, and that's how he was going to pay William back. He advised William knew this information. Julian stated when he learned of the Platt Family LLC, he knew William was responsible for the fraud. Julian stated he asked William about the forgery and deed. He advised William stated that was how he was going to get the money that he was owed. Julian wrote a witness statement. He also brought in the original copy of the deed and the copy of the current deed to the residence. Julian advised he wanted to press charges. Julian did not know identifying information for the parties involved outside of their names. So here's the officer's name. And before I get into statements, let's just go ahead and show you this picture right now. So unfortunately, this was just days ago. This notice was October 8th, 2025. This notice was for a foreclosure, with the foreclosure date going to be November, the first Tuesday of November 2025, which was just a matter of 4 days ago. Unfortunately, since then, the house was auctioned off and Julian Lett had lost the property. So it's very unfortunate that the police did not investigate this enough and I'm assuming did not do what they should have done, because we are going to disclose more confirmed fraud here in just a second as well. So this was a request or application for a criminal arrest warrant by Julian Lett. The name of the person that he's requesting to be arrested is Burrell Ridgway. Here's the address. There's an email. And he states that Burrell Ridgway is the unknown person that claims to be a witness to my signing a document, and this person and I have never met. I did not sign any paperwork in front of this unknown witness for a deed against my home. And then he had another application for a criminal arrest warrant for William Platt, and references the 3120 Donald Lee Hollowell, which is going to be Hollowell Parkway. That's 3120 The Bank, or AKA The Vault. That's what's at this address here. Date of birth, driver's license number. So his statement says, Mr. Platt loaned me, Julian Lett, some money. Because of this loan, I allowed Mr. Platt to hold a copy of my deed as collateral until a deal from another agreed upon situation was handled. Last week, on 7/15/2024, I went to the city of Jonesboro to see why I haven't received my property tax statement yet. The clerk of court informed me that I won't receive it until September. Once I heard about, sorry, it's hard to read his handwriting, so I apologize if you're just listening to this and not actually following the video. So my apologies. So he says, I won't receive it until September. Once I heard about Mr. Platt's financial problems and divorce decree, I decided to research my property, only to find out by the clerk that Mr. Platt forged my name, and my name was no longer only my home. It's hard to see what he says. No longer only my home without my consent. I'm not quite sure what that actual sentence is there. Then he says, Mr. Platt had the deed notarized, and I wasn't even present. I don't even know these people, Burrell Ridgway or Jana Scarlett. He also took a $128,000 loan against my property. He is a fraud. So let's go to the third application for arrest warrant and approved by the judge. This was for Jana Scarlett. So he says in his complaint, Jana Scarlett is supposed to be the notary that signed document without my presence, and I can't read what he says, and I something without my consent. So he's clearly stating that he doesn't know this person. There's no way this person saw him. He wasn't there. Now another request for arrest warrant. This one's now for William Platt the third. This is very common now because of William going through his divorce. He's trying to hide everything from Erica Platt. And so he's been using his son and putting his son on a ton of documents. We've seen that across a lot of fraud is William Platt the third. And so he knows exactly what he's doing here. So he puts his son's date of birth, 8/31/1993. And then his statement on this William Platt III, he states, doing research on my home, I found out William Platt took a loan out in his son's name for $128,000 against my property. William Platt III. I have all the documents for proof. So that was the police report that he took. The case number is 24043381, and this was for Clayton County Police Department. So let's say you got the fraud report, you got that the property was just unfortunately auctioned off. Now let's get into some of the meat potatoes of what was really going on behind the scenes here and kind of backtrack and start putting all that together. So I apologize for the time that it's going to take, but follow with me here. So on GSCCCA, pull up that specific property, and I'm going to start looking back at dates. I know there's other ways to do this, but I want to try to make this as quick as I can. So we have July 25th, 2023. Here's at 8/15/2022. 9/27/2023, 9/27/2023. So let's go back to 8/15/2022. Let's take a look at that. Oh, maybe I might have to pause this. Let's do that again. Address search. Clayton. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so here we are. So let's go again right back to, I had to relog in, the 8/15/2022. Let's take a look at this. Some of these, whenever I'm going through some of these documents, you'll see the same on other files. So just kind of bear with us. So this was a security deed. Let me just triple check and make sure that that's 190. That's an old one. So that's a really old one. That was one of the original ones. Okay. So here's one from October 17th, 2022. This was a quick claim deed, also known as a QCD, quick claim deed, from or requested by Julian Lett by his aunt. We're going to see that in just a second here. Quick claim deed, August 15th, 2022. Linda Booker, she was the original owner of the property, which I think we can kind of see. Let's go back to here. So here is a little bit of history on 7847 Sugarland Drive. You'll see that Linda L. Booker has had this property since, looks like 12/28/1989, and then quit claim deed in August over to Julian Lett. So again, that was his aunt who deeded it over to him. And then now you're going to start seeing where what appears to be, and from what I've heard and what I've seen and linking it all together, fraudulent quit claim deeds starting right around July of 2023. So here we go, August 15th. Here's her signature here. And I think that is all. Yeah, let's see here. Make sure that's the exhibit for the actual property. And then this goes into somebody else's deal, so not ours. So that's the biggest thing that we want to just see is the transfer over from Linda to Julian. Let me see what this one was again here. Notary. So here's a legit notary back in the day. Okay, so now let's go to the next one. Now here's where we're going to start seeing some tricky, funny stuff right here. So this one states this was October 2nd, 2023. This was a deed that was recorded supposedly by Shafritz and Dean. I have not called them to confirm if they have actually recorded this, but it's very common it's very common that I've seen Byron and others use the closing attorney's info. Sometimes they don't even have a file number. Like in this case, they do show a file number, George GA-23-17409, but sometimes they leave it blank, and then they just fraudulently record these deeds and make it look like they are legit because they have a closing attorney. Some that I'll show you later is going to be related to Philip Johns of Johns & Johns, and he's actually had to record affidavits confirming that some of these deeds were in fact fraudulent and that he had never recorded it. So I have not called Shafritz and Dean to confirm if this one was something that they filed or not, but I'm pretty confident that it's not. So again, this was recorded October 2nd, 2023. And a few things that I want you to be fully aware of. Now, this is going to be other victims. This is going to be lenders, etc. You're going to notice and you're going to see a lot more. And just like I said in some of my other videos, take a look at this. Frank Brake III, June 19th, 2025, notary expires. We know later that they altered the date to 2026, which is fraudulent because notary stamps are renewed every 4 years. But this still right here is still within the time frame of when this notary had a legit notary. Again, it's not stamped over anything else. That's not anything that would be surprising to people, but it's something for everybody to be paying attention to later if they ever see Frank Brake III. So, Linda Booker, October 2nd. Now, let me go to the next couple one, and then I'm going to go to an audio recording because I want you to be able to hear something that Julian Lett specifically said. But let's go ahead and go down this corrective limited warranty deed. So the reason why they quote unquote corrected this deed is it says here in their correction, the purpose of this deed is to correct that certain quit claim deed between the parties dated August 15th, 2022, filed for record October 17th, 2022, recorded in the deed book 13180, page 9, Clayton County, which erroneously contained a notary acknowledgement. We're going to come back and take a look at this page here shortly. Matter of fact, I'm going to write that one down just in case. 13180, page 9. All right. So let's go to this next page. Here's the exhibit of the actual property, address, and whatnot. And let me just see that this might be a different, let's see here. Okay, so now here is also on October 2nd, 2023, another corrective limited warranty deed. Let me just make sure I'm not reviewing the exact same thing. This is for July. Okay, so now supposedly same file. Let's see, Georgia file number 2317409, Georgia 2317409. You'll also see how this is bolded, kind of larger, and then look at this one here. It's a little bit smaller, so could be legit, probably not. So now, and this one says the indenture made the 27th day of September 2023 between Julian Lett and Platt Family Real Estate Holdings. So now this one, the purpose of this corrective deed states, the purpose of this deed is to correct that certain quit claim deed between the parties dated July 25th, 2023, filed for record July 31st. 6 days later, recorded in deed book 13536. We're going to write that down. 13536, page 298 in Clayton County. And then it says that the reason why they're correcting this is because it has erroneously contained a notary acknowledgement. And then here again, now it has Julian Lett's signature, which we already know is fraudulent. I'm going to let you hear some audio from Julian as well. Again, he only signed based on his police statement, but based off of recorded calls I had with him, he only signed one, like a promissory note, and then gave Will Platt a copy of the deed, not the original deed. So this was a forged signature. Who's this witness? Don't freaking know. Have an idea, but don't know. Guess what? There's the magic Frank Break III again. So let's see what this one says here. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to kind of bounce around. There's a lot to this, but let's go to this one since I'm already here. Now we're going to see, guess what? Same day, same exact time, which means all these docs, same time. The corrected deed for old dates, the corrected deed for recent dates, and then now he's getting a loan. So now he's getting a loan September 28th, 2023, but he puts it under William Platt III, even though William Platt is the one who owns Platt Family Real Estate Holdings, but he's been telling Skybeam Capital, which is Jeff Dimmock, he's telling him that he's got to put everything in his son's name because he's going through a divorce and he can't show any real estate or any assets in his own personal name. So that's what he's claiming here. So long story short, he gets a $123,000 loan. Now, he gets a $123,000 loan on a property that he just forged quitclaim deeds. So now he's taking possession of a property illegally and then taking out a loan on a property that he illegally obtained. So let's go to the bottom of this loan. And now again, it's going back to Shafritz and Dean. This one was probably legit because I know the lender did go through an actual closing and did get a loan, which ultimately they were going to foreclose on this loan because Will Platt never actually made payments. Because why? Because he wanted to run off with free money. Granted, he did pay Julian Lett about $65,000, but then he gets a loan on the property. So he's basically made off with, give or take 60 grand here. Here's the property, confirming everything matches back to the police report, back to the forged quitclaim deeds. So here he is. He takes this loan out. And let's continue on to signature pages. All right, so now we're getting close. Platt Family Real Estate Holdings, Skybeam, which is Jeff Dimmock. And now let's get William Platt III. So his son, I don't know. I haven't dived into this notary and everything, but assumably, since I know they did get the loan, they did go through a closing attorney, I'm just going to assume that this is probably all legit, and that's probably at the closing attorney's office. So that's nothing suspect right there. So here's the exhibit confirming the land, parcel, location. Here's a borrower's rights. Again, you see how these notary stamps are like over on top of things? You'll never see that on Frank Brink because of all their fraud. So let's see. Okay, I think we're into a different property here. So yeah, nothing that matters here. So I went over that one. Now let's go to some of the audio, I think, or maybe I'll go back to these other. Yeah, let me go back to these other dates. Okay, so we did the 8/15/2022. We saw that it was transferred from Linda over to Julian. So that was 8/15/2022. Let me see what the next date is. These are 9/27/2023. This one is July 25th, 2023. So let's take a look at those. Again, a couple of them might be identical because they are cross-reference. Okay. So here's something to make note of as well. So I think I got ahead of myself before I showed you, but now I'm going to show you where some of the forged quitclaim deeds are. So this was July 31st that it was recorded. Remember earlier in the other corrective deeds, it referenced this date as well. So here is something that it says it was prepared by Alicia Roxanne Farah. She goes by Roxy. She is an agent for Berkshire Hathaways, or a broker with Berkshire Hathaways. She has been, by many, many, many victims, I have been told that she is also part of their fraud. I'm still working on that. I have specifically showed Roxy a lot of fraud with Will and Byron, and she still is working with them to this date. She's working on some other properties right now, and not even listening to other people who are trying to get her to not work with them. So something is a little bit fishy. I've been told that she's created fraudulent purchase and sale agreements. I do know for sure, and I'll show this on another video. I can confirm 100% that she was on some contracts related to my $2.5 million litigation with Quincy Carswell and Covenant Baptist Church, that after the agent who Quincy was working with, after she stepped away, that agent stepped away, there were amendments and or purchase and sale agreements that have that agent's signature on it. And I have confirmed from that agent that those were fraudulent. And Roxy was the one who created some of those purchase and sale agreements and had things signed, and or somebody else had created it and put her information on it. That is still to be determined as of this moment. But there's a lot with Roxy that is very questionable. So let's get back to this one here. So Roxy created this, prepared this. This is a quitclaim deed. And let's see here. So quitclaims the property to Platt Family Real Estate Holdings. And then now he's claiming that William Platt III is the principal of this LLC. And again, we're referring to 7847 Sugarland Drive right here. So page 2, and then page 3. Here's the signature, July 25th, 2023. Again, I've spoken with Julian Lett. He's confirmed that these are not his signatures. He has never signed this. And now we have on the same date, July 25th, 2023. So now we know that this signature that we saw on a previous document, this exact same signature that didn't have a name of it written out, matches Burrell Ridgway, which again is the supposed CPA or accountant for Will Platt over at 3120 The Bank, but from what I understand is not a legit CPA, and they have not done their taxes in like 3+ years over there. So here we go now, Julian Lett, and there's that Jana Scarlett notary. Let's see if there's anything else linked to it. And this one is something different. Okay, so that is that. Let's go to this one. I was just on this one. Let me just make sure. Yep. Okay, so this might be the one that we had already seen before. Signature, Frank Brake, all the stuff that you already know. Okay, so yeah, we've already seen those. So now let's look at, that was the July 25th, 2023. Now let's look at some of the recent, or not recent necessarily, but the next dates after 7/25/2023. So now we have September 27th, 2023, and we also have another September 27th, 2023 recording. So what you'll notice is the numbers here, 13,580 is obviously going to come after. So whichever numbers are earlier, that's what's going to come first. So we want to take a look here, 13,180, that's the soonest ones. And then the 13,580 matches over here, just 2 pages away. So let's start with this quick claim deed. This was the seller, which was Linda Booker, over to Julian Lett accordingly. Let's see here. So here's the quick claim deed. This was October 17th, 2022, which we've already confirmed that this one was legit. She was still alive at this time. This did get transferred from Linda over to Julian Lett, so that one is legit. Now let's go to the next deed book, 13,580, page 728. 13,580, 728. Here's the corrective limited warranty deed. This is what we went over, I think, a little bit ago, stating here, made September 27th, 2023, between Linda Booker. So now this is correcting it. And it says the purpose of this deed is to correct a certain quitclaim deed between the parties dated August 15th, 2022, filed for record October 17th, which is really interesting. Recorded in the deed book 13,180, page 9, Clayton County. And it says that there is erroneously contained a notary acknowledgement there again. So let's see here. So now in the exact same time that they're recording this, now they are on the exact same September 27th, 2023, that now they just corrected it and had the deed from Booker over to Julian Lett, now same exact day, Lett over to Platt Family Real Estate Holdings. Frank Brake again forged Julian Lett signature, and that we think might be Burrell Ridgway's witness. Oops, let's go back to this one again. Let's just triple check, make sure I'm not missing anything. Correct deed. Okay, Skybeam, okay. So now let's go to the second one on same 9/27/2023. I think that's what we probably just ended up looking into. Like I said, sometimes we're going to see some cross references that are going to be the same. Here's the same one, 731, same deed. Okay, let's look at this. Corrective one again, same thing. That should be Skybeam. Cool. Okay, so we're good there. So now let's hear some audio from Julian Lett. I'm going to have three different sections of audio. Let's see if this is still going here. I hope I'm still recording. Let's see here. Good, I'm still recording. Okay, cool. That's what I just wanted to make sure. But where are we? Oh well, I don't see my pretty face down there. I was hoping I could see my face. Oh well, as long as it's still recording, we're good. So let's do this.
Yes, I decided we didn't use her signature after that period.
Right. When did she pass away?
She passed September of 2003. 2003. 2023.
2023, yeah. That's so now here Julian Lett stating that Miss Booker had passed in early September of 2023, yet we just got finished seeing the quitclaim deed that was fraudulent with Booker's signature on 9/27. Linda Booker was dead. So if Linda Booker was dead, that clearly was definitely not her signature. So let me go to the next audio here and see what this says. They have used that notary stamp and signed, and so I'm
so Jason, what this would do? Because I think he don't get all the money out of the house, and the house was for foreclosure on the 4th. So I lost my property. So wait,
you mean this coming? You mean like this coming the 4th, or this?
The 4th, November the 4th.
Oh, like it was just gone a few days ago. So here it was. I just talked to him yesterday, 11/7/2025, and that's whenever he told me. Unfortunately, I caught this too late, and I feel horrible about it. But now the property was auctioned because William Platt then refinanced. He refinanced the Skybeam loan back with this. He refinanced the Skybeam loan with this other lender. And then through this lender, remember, he had $123,000 loan with Skybeam, and he gave Julian like $65,000. So he walked away with about $60,000 on a property that he illegally obtained. So that was $60-something thousand that he just made free money. Then he didn't make any payments to Skybeam. Skybeam didn't foreclose on him yet. And then he refinanced with this other lender for a $214,000 loan from there. Didn't make payments, just like usual. That got auctioned off right here, November 4th, and so he just lost his property. So let me go to the third piece of audio here. Okay, let's see. Here we go.
04984.
No, let me just do that right there, a little bit further away. Sorry. 428.
I'm sending you what I was sent. That they did. He forged all my names. He forged my address. He forged everything. But I found one piece of paper. I seen my name on 10 different pieces of paper. You see what I said too?
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I'm about to look right now. So he just, even here now on the audio, stated that he had only signed the one piece of paper, which was the promissory note. And now he sees his signature on all these other documents, which is a lot of the stuff that I just got finished going over. Whew, I know, it's a lot. It's confusing. I'm sorry. I'm probably going to go ahead and stop this audio here and video on this one. I know I have a little bit more linked to him, but I'll have to probably make a second video here.